he uses when he likes to kiss girls and not tell them his real name. So, yeah, we're going to talk to Francois for a little bit, bring in this band called the Runner Ups. Actually, a fun ska band. I don't know. Are you guys into ska at all? Or do you even, Bob, do you know what ska is? Does that happen?
I have no idea what the hell ska is.
Oh, my God.
Bob, were you born?
Bob,
were you born after ska?
I was born in '90, so maybe.
Yeah, you mean, well, John, you're not that much different. When were you born again?
85. I want to be 30 in, let's see, less than a month.
I want to say like ska was at its peak in like the mid '90s.
Yeah,
mid to late '90s.
Well, give me some bands.
Give you some bands. Let's see. No Doubt, Screeching Weasel. You want to get into? God, I mean, you can go on, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know No Doubt.
Excuse me?
I know No Doubt. That's about it. I like ska.
Rancid? You ever hear the band Rancid before?
Yeah, I've heard of them. I couldn't pick out any of their music, though.
My God, Rancid, Less Than Jake. I mean, there's bands out there, and I'm sure that's got to be right in your wheelhouse, right, Keith?
Well, not really. Was Sublime considered ska?
Somewhat. I mean, they were part of the whole uprising that No Doubt got, where they finally started getting some recognition was because they ended up going on tour with them. But I mean, when it comes down to my music, I'm all over the board, but I enjoy ska. It's fun, upbeat music. It makes you feel good about life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna find out about that, and then we're gonna take a little bit different route. I think later on, after we go through Cody or Francois, whatever he's been called tonight, we're gonna do that, and then again, we're gonna do that garbage time. That was fun. We ended up doing garbage time last week, Bobbo, where we kind of talked about it was pretty primarily just garbages, like pieces of garbage that just kind of hang out in professional sports, get arrested a lot, do horrible things to people, and it might take a little bit different direction. It might not necessarily be, anybody that got arrested, but it might just be really, really dumb decisions recently. I feel like you might have a rant somewhere in the show.
Yeah, I got a couple rants. One about people I hate who would include their infatuation with Freddie Coleman giving them props. That's about it. I mean, I might have another rant lined up too, but that one's in the holster.
Freddie Coleman, man, is street cred.
Well, let me just go into this. Okay, there's people on Twitter. I get that Twitter is a great place to put out your brand, so to speak, but just because Freddie Coleman will say like, "Oh yeah, man, I think this guy knows what he's talking about" on his show, reads out your tweet on his show, or he acknowledges your tweet on Twitter, whatever, does not mean you have arrived. There's a keeping scoop of people that, try to have these one-on-one conversations with Freddie Coleman, like, yeah, man, you really know what you're talking about. Yeah. Freddie Coleman is, newsflash, he's not that great. Probably a great guy. I think I give him props for going as long as he has on ESPN, but he's not that great. If he was so great, he wouldn't be mostly, not picked up by every ESPN affiliate.
Working for awful. What is this, man? Just ripping up Freddie Coleman right now?
Sorry, Freddie Coleman. This is not all about you, but it's about the people who think that because Freddie Coleman acknowledges them that they have arrived. You have not arrived. Newsflash. And your opinions, when you are in the middle of an argument and you said, well, Freddie Coleman agreed with me, that does not mean you are right. That means you're probably wrong, and you should find another person to back up your opinion.
God bless it, Bob. I love it, man. I was going to let you, get into this a little bit later on in the show, but start off with a kick,
Well, hey, I was reading tweets earlier, and I don't know. I sent you guys a text message. I figured it needed to be brought up.
That's your problem, man. Don't be reading tweets. I'm telling you, it leads to problems. And so If you want to complain about your tweets or if you love Freddie Coleman yourself, if you want to give us a call in, it's 585-633-7487, 585-633-7487.
Freddie Coleman, stay off our radio show.
Oh, you know what? I think he's probably busy right now. I think this is his time, to be honest. Are we battling against Freddie Coleman right now?
I actually think he's probably filling in for Bobby V or some other garbage radio host on ESPN.
Oh no, he's my late night guy. When I'm driving home, I'll listen to him for like a half a second, and then eventually, his shift is up, and then I'm on to ESPN Sports Center overnight. That's what I do, just because I need the information, I need the updates. That's what I'm constantly doing. I'm constantly taking notes, constantly reading, and just staying up as much as you can on all these different things. And so. When it comes down to listening to other stations, they don't give you the information. They want to reminisce. It's fine to reminisce. That's all fine and dandy. But when it comes down to, I don't want to listen to some drunk guy talking, for 20 minutes, taking over the radio show. I want to hear the facts. So I got to go.
Wait, well, what's garbage is, there's these people on these ESPN people. They have unlimited amount of resources, and then they just come out with generic stats. It's like, okay, research a little bit, actually have people that work for you do the research for you, and you might have a better product. And what's sad is NBC Sports Radio, really pathetic. I was listening to they're just terrible. It's terrible left to right on there.
Why? Tell me, dude. Let me hear about this a little bit.
Okay, NBC, Scott Seidenberg, I'm a fan of his, but there's guys like Steve Bushka, or I don't know what his name is, but he's a racist, sexist. Usually that type of behavior would be kind of right up my alley, but he's not funny. He's just trying to ruffle feathers. He thinks he's, Skip Bayless. He's not talented. NBC Sports Radio. Amy Lawrence. No offense. Amy Lawrence is like their number one piece of marketing at NBC Sports Radio. It's really pathetic.
See, but here's my problem, and this is kind of getting back to why I listen to, why I'm aware of Freddie Coleman's existence, because, I listen to him, like I said, for a half second before I listen to ESPN overnight. What I'm listening to, that's normally why I listen to ESPN. When it comes down to the weekends, they go to the late night shows, okay? They don't do the Sports Center overnight. And Amy Lawrence was on ESPN for quite a while. And it was very difficult. Like, she does have some good opinions. I'm gonna give her that. She has a great, voice for radio. Very talented at what she does. But there was too much time to spend, kind of what we're doing right now, which actually kind of on the show, and just talking about BS and not getting down to the facts. Too many, just cute little fun things. Let's get down to sports, and let's hear what we're here to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they never really have any good guests or anything. They're pretty. It's
bland.
There's so many generic shows on ESPN, NBC Sports Radio, Fox Radio. I mean, it's really. I pretty much listened to JT the Brick, and that's pretty much about it as far as sports radio goes. It's.
If you had the
he's not. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I said if you had the resources, use them.
Exactly. I mean, NBC probably doesn't have the resources. They're going down the tubes, especially after watching that. Their Olympic coverage is going down the tube. Everything's going down the tubes for NBC, and
no one enjoys the Olympics.
I guess I like Dan Patrick. That'll work for me.
Oh, I love Dan Patrick. He's a riot. He's the best. He's like the Jon Stewart of sports. I love it.
That's an interesting comparison. I like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he gets right to it. If he has a problem with you, he's gonna let you know about it. And that's why we have a couple guys that do sports radio here in Chicago that I'm aware of that I really enjoy because of that very fact. Where they're not gonna dance around it. They're gonna get right to it. And if they have the guy on the line, they're gonna ask him. They're not going to shy away from it if ruining a connection or a relationship with somebody. If they have a problem, they're going to ask you, and that's how I operate as a person. If I have a problem with you, I'm going to tell you about it. You know what I mean? I'm straight up all the time, and I don't play around. You know what I mean? I'm no sense in lollygagging. Get right to it.
Right. Yeah, I like that, Johnny. I like that one time when you came to me with a problem, and you told me to drink a bottle of bleach, and I was like, "Whoa, Johnny, okay,
Yeah.
little
Did I?
far with the insults."
Man, I don't think. See, I'm not that. I'm not that cruel. I'll say some mean things, but man, I'm not gonna tell you to drink some bleach. But what we're gonna do, we're actually gonna get down to things that are kind of like sports. What we're gonna do, we're gonna run through versus Moleskins here. We'll bounce around a couple of these topics, and we'll start off. I'm gonna let you, Bob, after I get done running through these things. You can pick the one that that's kind of most important to you, the one that you love. And what we can do, we'll talk about that. We'll bounce around a couple of other ones here. We'll let Keith get in on the conversation, and we're going to talk about. Did you see this terrifying cake baby mascot at the Pelicans games? I mean, it's bad enough that they're the Pelicans, but so they have this terrifying cake baby. I'm going to tweet this out for you here in just a minute so you can get a look at it. But we have that. We have the whole Brian Williams thing right now, where there's actually. So he ended up, signing a $10 million deal, ended up losing $5 million off it right off the bat. So he ended up being found out for lying and about being struck by enemy air fire when he was in Iraq. And so they have major, minor league baseball. They're always looking to jump on the newest promotion to get more people to come out. They're going to go with a Brian Williams liar pants on fire night over at a minor league ballpark. And then we're also themed jerseys are apparently the cool thing to do. They have a minor league baseball team is doing a Back to the Future jersey. Then we also have a D League team in basketball doing themed jerseys in terms of corn. They have corn stalks on long sides of their jerseys. A lot of cool things here for you to look at. We're going to tweet them out. And there's also a really cool Tony Gwynn tribute at a San Diego basketball team's a game. So that was very impressive. And then how about this, man? We got an 88-year-old man that decides to charge the mound. We're going to tweet out that video. And then we have Charles Barkley. He doesn't believe in analytics. I'm pretty sure he doesn't believe in dinosaurs either. But out of all of these things, I got to say the worst out of all of them has to be Cardale Jones, who whooped up on a kid in NCAA football, okay? At a children's hospital, and ended up correcting someone that said they ended up beating him 91-32. He said, no. There was a minute and a half left. I beat him 98-32.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I'm gonna say this with Cardale Jones. I would do the exact same thing. I wouldn't let anybody,
You're not gonna let up on a kid. He's in a hospital.
Yeah, but I'm sure the kid appreciates being able to play against Cardale Jones.
Getting whooped up on? I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's fun to have that little, that fun little moment there. But man, to get the bricks laid on you like that is this really tough as a kid? I gotta imagine.
Well, my buddy Matt brings up the Chappelle Show skit where Dave Chappelle's whooping up on the kid in NBA Street. Yeah, there should be. If there's video, there should have been video of Cardale talking crap. I think Cardale, he did the right thing, telling everybody, okay, so we're gonna rip on Brian Williams for telling a little fib, and Cardale Jones gets ripped on for telling the truth. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, that's pretty awful. That's pretty awful. But honestly, man, the kids in the hospital, you got to make them feel a little bit better. I mean, when I'm out there playing with the kids and stuff, I'm going to at least give them a little bit of an advantage and kind of help them out,
No pain, no gain.
No, you are the cruelest person ever, Bob. I'm sure of that. But
yeah, I haven't beaten up on a kid in the hospital.
Okay, well, whatever, man. That's what happens. But the one thing I actually forgot to mention, speaking about getting beat up on, did you hear about Nick Young? Apparently was being attacked by a dolphin. He's afraid of dolphins. Did you hear about this whole thing?
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody was saying how it sounded awfully similar to a Kevin Hart story. So I'm going to say it was admirable that he tried, but I'm going to take time away from Nick Young to say he probably stole that material from Kevin Hart.
He could be misremembering like Brian Williams.
It's true. Johnny?